Hi, and welcome back to another video for the series. This video, we're going to talk about vulnerability data analysis and prioritization. Piggybacking off of our last video where we went over attack methodology frameworks. So first, I want to talk a bit about, just for a few moments, quick second, really, about the common vulnerability scoring system. And we went over this actually in the prior video. And it pretty much gives the score for the severity of a discovered vulnerability, right, on the scale of 1 to 10. So it can be used to measure the severity, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to utilize an exercise to better understand how to evaluate the impact of a discovered vulnerability. So let's actually take a look at Microsoft Edge. Then we're going to head to the website so we can get some closer up look. Let's see here. All right, so now we have the National Vulnerability Database, right? It can be used to investigate discovered vulnerabilities and contains, as I mentioned, the common vulnerabilities and exposures, CVEs for short. So let's scroll down to the NVD vulnerability severity ratings. There it is. So as you can see, actually it goes from the scale of 0 to 10, actually. So 10 being the highest or 9.0 to 10 being the highest. Usually if it's on a higher end between like a 9.8 to 10, that's when it's normally being exploited in the wild as far as the threat actor is actively utilizing that vulnerability to do some not so good things. And the website gives more information on how the severity rating score is calculated. It can be used to determine that particular score based off the different scenarios, right? So let's actually take a look at the calculator. I think it was up here. Actually, no. Let's go back. Let's take a look at I think it's the more updated one. All right, and then we can see the base score, as you can see here. Okay, so we can actually look at some metrics. Here we can actually play around with this. So it just comprises of different components, right? Used to calculate the severity. And it goes by base score metric. So it just represents the basic components of the discovered vulnerability. And it consists of two subcategories, it looks like. So exploitability, right? And impact, right? So we have that here. And then where exploitability metrics measure the ease of how a vulnerability can be exploited, and impact just measures the impacted exploited vulnerability will have on a specific component. So then you have temporal score metrics, right? And this consists of three subcategories, as you can see here, right? Here. And pretty much exploit code maturity, remediation level, and report competence for the discovered vulnerability. Then you also have, lastly, environmental score metrics, right? So it consists of the importance of the affected component, and it's measured in the terms of the security measures currently in place. So it can be used to further investigate how these scores are calculated. So let's take a look at the different scenarios, right? So let's see. Attack vector, let's see if we do AV. Attack vector network. I'm just giving a scenario, and then we do attack complexity. Let's do it low, right? And then if we do privileges required, let's do that kind of low. And then UI, let's do required. Scope changed, impact metrics. Let's see, confidentiality. Let's do the impact as low, right? And then integrity. Let's do that low. Availability. Let's do that low as well, right? And then let's see. So overall, we have a 6.5, and then it gives us kind of somewhat of a breakdown of why. Um, we take a look here as far as breakdown of the maths. If you want to take a look at the math for the CVSS. Now, depending on, of course, the selected field, the score will change accordingly, of course. And let's take a look at the temporal score. All right, so let's do functional exploits. Let's do the official fix, and let's say reasonable. All right, and then let's take a look at it. Oh, well, gets it automatically. So we have a 5.8. It's not crazy. Wouldn't be that high on a priority list, more than likely, as far as fixing it, because it's not being actively exploited, and it's not that big of a deal because it's not impacting the bottom line as far as business processes, right? But manipulating the temporal section, of course, as we can see, it affected the score when compared to the previous score that we were taking a look at. And I'm not going to do the environmental score. It's just going to, be pretty much the same concept, right? So let's head to the next exercise where we'll be detecting web application vulnerabilities. We did a bit of this before in a prior video. We will be doing it again. So we want to make sure that we understand how important it is to, as much as we can, assess the infrastructure, the vulnerability of it. So web apps used by an organization, they might be vulnerable to exploits that must be included in these vulnerability assessments, right? So several applications are used to provide more detail, and we're going to actually use some of those today. So let's see, let's actually pivot over to this server here. Let me close this out. If it'll let me, there it is. Okay. Perfect. So we got our server loader. We have our server loaded, so we can move forward with checking our web app vulnerabilities, just making sure that the Apache and MySQL is. Oh, wait a minute. We need both. We need both. All right. So they're running successfully. So that means we can switch on over to this server here, so we can take a look at the terminal. We have it finally loaded here. So let's open up the terminal. Let's get to work. All right. So PT Nessus, then Nessus again. All right. Perfect. So now this command is going to start the necessary services and compile the needed plugins, right, for the Nessus application. It may take a couple of minutes. Oh, looks like it's going pretty fast. While it's doing that in the background, let me fire up Firefox. No pun intended. All right, and then we're gonna go to the host. Okay, all plugins loaded, which is good. And just in time for Firefox to get underway. Okay, now let's do this here. Let's do this. Okay. There it is. All right. Accept the risk. It's fine. We're going to X this out, and we're going to create a new scan. web application, of course. And we can find it. This page is always, where's 70? What? Why is it so specific at 67? God. All right, so let's take a look at the web application. Then one application scan. Then target 3 always gets me. Not sure why it keeps doing that. All right, so save, and then we're going to launch it here so it can do its thing. Shouldn't take no longer than a few moments. So as we can see, it's been running for quite some time, and just as it's scanning, it's just reflecting the results. I've let it scan for a few minutes. So I'm just going to still click on the vulnerabilities here. And let's see, critical. Yeah, I'm going to click on that one. Oh, it looks pretty bad. Let's see if I have the CVSS score 9.0. So that's pretty critical. All right, so let's actually head back to, I'm sorry, let's see, I'm supposed to do that. I got it mixed up because I'm doing a web application scan for the server. But yeah, so let's go back to the vulnerabilities in general. I just want to take a look at that one. So by selecting that particular vulnerability, right, the Nessus application, it provides suggestions on how the vulnerability can be remediated as well. Not just saying, hey, you have a vulnerability, figure it out. No, it's, hey, you have a vulnerability. Here are the necessary steps based off past history with this particular vulnerability, as well as the way the attack may have been implemented onto that particular network or a server or a web application, right? To patch it. So, and we also saw that the CVE number, or we can see right now that the CVE number for the detected vulnerability is also noted and can be cross-referenced for the cyber professional just taking a look at it. So these results can also be incorporated in a vulnerability scan report, right? So let's do a medium one. Let's do this one. Kind of similar to our last score where we did an example, the 5.8 that we had. So let's take a look at the results. I mean, just CGI abuses and when it was published and things of that nature. Nothing too crazy, right? Again, that's a 5.3, so not too bad. But the host was essentially created with several vulnerabilities, so we can take a look, right? And of course, several other vulnerabilities that we can see can be investigated as well as far as information. But that's particularly fine. So we go to, I think I have to scroll. Let's see, if we look here, I think it's here for our scan details. Pretty much just looking at the scan details, we can see how much of the 71 vulnerabilities are how much they fall into a certain category. So we see 71% is really information, and then there's the smallest percent that's really high to critical, which is good. I mean, as far as a best and worst case scenario, as far as if you do have anything that's critical with the CVSS score of that magnitude, that's not that many if you have any at all, right? It's all about mitigation, right? But that's the end of this video as far as any vulnerability data analysis and prioritization. We did a few things just for a brief recap. We went over some common vulnerability scoring. We also went over detecting web application vulnerabilities with the Nessus scan that we did. And in the next video, we'll be going over some incidents response management, and I'll see you there.